So, Clu, you've been acting in movies and TV shows since the 1950s?
Correct.
Correct. So you've seen film progress up till just recently, obviously, because you're in the new Tarantino film. What is the first thing off the top of your head that's changed the most?
He was also a Tangerine.
Digital. The way you never hear check the gate anymore when you're filming.
That's a powerful question. What changed the most in my working period in movies?
Yes, from when you started till now, because you've seen the progression all the way up till from the 50s till now. There's 60 years of television and film.
Well, of course, we all think immediately of, the sexual revolution where they had actual sex in legitimate movies, and one of the big hits of my time was, what's the name of that sexual movie where the guy came on Harry something? In other words, sex became so prevalent as one of the major phenomenon of movies that sometimes, I guess, it overpowered. I saw a film one time with Blue in the title from Sweden, Two Girls. It's a marvelous film, but there was a 7.5-minute sex scene in it, lesbian scene.
Blue is the warmest color.
Oh, did you get that?
Blue is the warmest color.
Okay, and that to me was I don't know if it's good or bad. It stopped the film, the dramatic input of the story. I enjoyed it because I am a male. I enjoyed watching the two girls go at it. But I just wonder if, in fact, we went. That was the pinnacle of what I've seen in a legitimate, very legitimate film. And so I'm not sure that anything tops that in my mind. I saw a film one time out of, I think, Denmark. It was where, and I can't think of the name of it, it was an art film. I'm sure none of you have seen it. There was no reason for it to come here. But it was a film about a man who thought everything was normal that was abnormal. And they did things in that film that I've never, it's so wrong that it became, you had to watch it. What was the name of that, John?
From that description, I'm not really getting it yet.
The question should be, how old is Clu?
In other words, we went to a certain point, now we're leveling off and we're coming back to real money on normal imagery like Thom's beautifully made film, but with, stuff, violence that we can handle. And that to me is, I think we've gone back to almost television production in some of our motion pictures on Netflix and Amazon. Great acting, but the filmmaking is kind of pedestrian sometimes. That's my, you guys probably disagree with me, but that's my thinking.
Just how old are you, Clu? How old are you?
How young are you?
How young are you? 90 years old!
Wow.
At 90! That's so unique. I don't want to talk about sex.
This is not so much a question, just a quick story about the extent this movie's influence has had. Yesterday, I traveled here to be here, and I don't cross the border very much, so I haven't had a whole lot of interactions with border crossings. But as my flight was delayed, all kinds of problems, I didn't get in until about 1:30 last night. So I'm crossing the border, and I go to the checkpoint, and there's no cars around. I'm the only car, and I pull up to the station, and I got my passport out, and that's a guy in his 50s, and he checks my passport out, and he says, "What are you doing here in Canada?" And I said, well, I wasn't going to say I'm here for the fresh kills kind of convention. I wasn't going to tell a law enforcement officer that. But I just said I'm here for a convention. And he says, what's a convention for? I said, okay, it's for horror movie fans of the 1980s. And he goes, well, what movie are they focusing on? And I'm like, boy, this guy's really hardcore. He's really quizzing me. I said, well, he said, what's the movie about? And I was getting a little nervous, so I said, well, it's about this guy who owns this warehouse, and I'm getting nervous, so I'm juggling the details. And I said, it's a guy about it's about a guy who owns this warehouse that stores cadavers. And he pauses, and he's staring at me, and he goes, it's about a guy who owns a warehouse that stores medical supplies, isn't that right? And we sat and talked about Return of the Living Dead for about 2 minutes until the next car came up. So that's how far this movie has influence. A border patrol officer is going to quiz somebody about it. So, I can't tell you how special this is for fans like me, for you guys to take the time to do this. For all the conventions you've done in the past, this movie has brought so much laughter and joy to so many. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you guys. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for coming out.
Anyway, let's everyone give a round of applause for John, Jewel, Thom, Clu, and Allan. All right, so if anybody's got the photo ops, and we'll figure out all that, but they'll be back at their tables after that. If you got anything you want to get signed or just want to shoot the shit, then they're there for that.
It's just water.